They've made great progress overnight, and in part due to these strong winds that were feeling it last night, dying down overnight. As you can see right now, the winds it's breezy, but it's not as strong of winds as was seen overnight. Right now, I'm joined by Roger Hollifield. He's the fire marshal with Rutherford County. Roger was out there all night last night, throughout the night. Tell me the conditions you were dealing with last night and how that affected this fire.
Okay, last night we were experiencing tremendous winds on top of Yellowtop Mountain where the fire originated. I don't know what those winds were estimated at, but we were having sheets of plywood blowing off houses last night up there during the height of this fire. We just had a tremendous amount of trouble dealing with those winds that were shifting in all different directions.
And obviously making that fire shift as well and jump fire lines, I imagine. But it does sound like crews were able to surround some of these homes and protect them. What we've heard is one home was completely lost, but they were able to save many others.
That's correct. They're still evaluating the condition of some of the structures in that area, but right now we can confirm that one house was a vacant home that was destroyed. We lost that home immediately upon our arrival. It was involved in fire. We've got one house that later on during the night received some significant fire damage, and then we have some other homes that have very minor fire damage.
And what's the attack plan now as the winds have died down and you're here calling it 90% contained? What's the attack plan for today?
Okay, the plan for today is for the Forest Service officials and the VFDs working in conjunction with each other to try to take a look at the lines that have been established during the night last night, and we had quite a bit of back burning of some of the unburned fuels, is to go through those lines today, make sure those lines remain cleaned out, and make sure that fire does not get across the containment lines that have already been successfully put in place.
Well, thank you very much, Roger. I appreciate it, and I appreciate all your hard work. I know the residents do appreciate the firefighters, from what I'm hearing, very much for their hard work overnight. And as Roger was saying, they're going to continue to be out here working these fire lines and working to make sure that they keep containment and keep these homes safe throughout the day. The good news that we are hearing is that there is still no reports of any serious injuries to either firefighters or residents throughout the entire night, throughout this morning. With this fire, they're calling it anywhere from 300 to 600 acres at this point that have been burned. They will know a better estimate once they're able to GPS map this out and get an exact acreage of the burnt area. But for now, they're just going to keep on doing what they were doing, just keep on protecting those lines and trying to control this fire. Live from the Rutherford County, I'm Jeremy Butterfield, News 13.
All right, Jeremy, thanks so much. Well,
3 major brush fires keep firefighters in 3 counties busy battling blazes. High winds fueled flames in Buncombe, McDowell, and Rutherford counties and kept crews on their toes working to calm fires and hopefully save homes. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Tammy Watford.
And I'm Pat Simon. The Yellowtop Mountain Fire in Rutherford County has brought out the best in many people. News 13's Karen Wynne is live at the Sunshine Elementary School with more on the volunteer efforts. And Karen, what's going on out there?
Well, Pat, a long, hard day's work is paying off big time for a lot of volunteers here. As you can see behind me, we have some hungry firefighters who are now able to enjoy a nice hot dinner put together by so many volunteers after they have put in the long hours of battling the fire. A lot of these firefighters are grateful. Now, earlier in the day, we had children and also some Red Cross volunteers and parents showing their love for the firefighters by making cards and preparing meals. The effort meant to the world to some of the victims.
I'm grateful today. That's what it means. I'm just really grateful. Glad to be alive, and I'm glad to have people that care.
It will be another long night for the volunteers because firefighters are going to spend the night here at the elementary school, and the volunteers will be here to serve them a nice breakfast in the morning. Of course, I'll have much more coming up on the volunteer effort tonight at 6 o'clock. Reporting live in Rutherford County, I'm Karen Wynne, News 13.
Karen,
has been contained, and one in Rutherford County is 90% contained. It's on Yellowtop Mountain, and it's been the most destructive. We begin our live team coverage there tonight with News 13's Jeremy Butterfield. Jeremy, conditions today have helped firefighters get a handle on this.
That's right, they sure have, Darcell. The strong winds that were seen throughout the day yesterday and into the night have died down significantly, allowing fire crews to make significant progress fighting this fire on Yellowtop Mountain. Now, it didn't take long yesterday for the brush fire to spread to more than 300 acres on Yellowtop Mountain, threatening homes and forcing residents to evacuate. Although one home was lost, residents credit the hard work of firefighters and diminishing winds for saving a majority of homes at Yellowtop Mountain Estates.
That the firefighters went the extra mile to save some of these homes because, I mean, they were right in the way, and that we were told that the fire jumped all around some of these homes and they were still protecting them. So we've got to really handle it to all the fire departments that are in this area. We thank them all very much.
Yeah.
And Forest Service officials say crews are still lighting backfires and controlling fire lines, but at this point they do say that this fire has been 90% contained. Now, Forest Service officials say out of the total of 85 homes that make up Yellowtop Mountain Estates, 15 to 20 of those were in what they call the black, or surrounded by fire at some point, and of those homes, 3 were extensively burned, with 1 being a complete loss. Live from Rutherford County, I'm Jeremy Butterfield, News 13.
It's not just firefighters mobilizing against the Yellowtop Mountain fire. That blaze is bringing out the best in the people of that small community. News 13's Karen Wynne continues our team coverage live at Sunshine Elementary School with more on volunteer efforts. Karen, the school that you're at served as a staging area for fighting this fire, right?
Right, Larry, it does. And today is the end of a good, hard day's work for a lot of volunteers. They're seeing their hard work pay off. They are able to serve the firefighters a hot meal. You can see behind me, a lot of these firefighters are enjoying their dinner. And the volunteers, quite a few are from the American Red Cross, but others are just citizens of the community that came out to help the firefighters and the victims.
Thank you for keeping us safe. Love, Miss Freeman's first grade. My daddy's a firefighter.
Sunshine Elementary School students joined the community to help lift the spirits of firefighters and evacuees from the Yellowtop Mountain fire.
I'm grateful today. That's what it means. I'm just really grateful. Glad to be alive, and I'm glad to have people that care.
Red Cross volunteers who worked around the clock were joined by parents and others who wanted to help out.
I just thought I would come and do my part and just try to help make sandwiches and get drinks and make sure the firemen had food up on the mountain. So.
The additional help with the simple act of preparing meals for firefighters means the world to Red Cross workers.
You can put a dollar value on it because, I mean, otherwise you're pulling in all of your resources at one time, and this lets us spread ours out a little bit.
Many say this community is family, and they wouldn't dream of spending the day any other way. And as you can see, it's still very busy here. It is going to be quite a long night for the volunteers because many of the firefighters are going to spend the night here, and then they'll be served a nice hot breakfast first thing tomorrow morning. Live in Rutherford County, I'm Karen Wynne, News 13.
Firefighters are working around the clock to contain a series of Carolina wildfires. The fires scorched hundreds of acres and forced dozens of Carolina families to evacuate their homes. The wildfires affected several counties in both North and South Carolina.
Here is a breakdown of those weekend fires. The largest fire in the region is on Yellowtop Mountain in Bostic, North Carolina. In Greer, dozens of acres burned near Highway 80 and Wade Hampton Boulevard. There were 2 fires in Seneca in 2 separate neighborhoods, and in Dacusville, several homes and a church were threatened by fire. The largest fire in the region was on Yellowtop Mountain in western North Carolina. It scorched several hundred acres.
And tonight, many families who've spent the past 24 hours or so holding their collective breath and hoping for the best are returning home for the first time. Fox Carolina's Jade Hindmon joins us live in western North Carolina with more.
Well, Diana, Jeff, as the smoke lifted off that mountain today, residents were able to return home and collect a few items. Many of them say they were surprised at what they found. The fire burned throughout the night, and by daybreak, the damage was visible.
We just got back down from being able to go up there the first time, and the place is, you know, it's just all it is charred. I mean, there's nothing left up there.
A much different landscape than the rich piney forest they left behind. Yesterday afternoon, heavy winds propelled fire up this mountain. People living here had to evacuate within minutes, but the smoke and fire made it nearly impossible to leave.
You're surrounded by smoke and you don't know what's going on, and you can't see your neighbor's house. All you just see is white, and then again you're caught in a fire.
Caught in a fire that everyone made it out of safely. Though an estimated 400 acres were charred, only one summer home was destroyed. Within this smoldering mountainside, most everyone's house is still standing.
If you can't believe in something, go up there and then you'll see how the houses are still there.
And actually, people who live at the bottom of that mountain have been allowed to return home. Those who live at the top are still evacuated, staying in motels. Over the next 12 hours, firefighters will determine if it's safe for them to return home. Coming up later in the newscast, we'll actually have more about those firefighters and what they're dealing with as they fight the flames and put out hot spots. We're live in Rutherford County. Jade Hindmon, Fox Carolina, the 10 o'clock news.
We have more now on those Carolina wildfires we told you about at the top of the newscast. By far, the biggest wildfire in our area was in western North Carolina, where hundreds of acres were scorched. Firefighters have been working around the clock to put out flames in Rutherford County.
The fire started yesterday afternoon on Yellowtop Mountain, that's in Bostic, North Carolina. Tonight, they're still on the scene. Fox Carolina's Jade Hindmon joining us live from Rutherford County with more of what firefighters are going through. Jade.
Well, tonight, firefighters say it is crucial because those embers, those hot spots could reignite and burst into flames. Tonight, they are still on that mountaintop trying to make sure that doesn't happen, and the most exhausting part of their job isn't over yet.
All these firemen, they're still up there. They've been up there for over 24 hours.
They started yesterday afternoon. A day later, many of these firefighters are still working.
Well, right now we're working on a lot of the hot spots.
And for the most part, they're working on 2 hours of sleep. Some of these firefighters returned to work at 6 o'clock this morning and at 6 o'clock tonight.
Is that what you want?
Today, baby. They had their first break.
We give out.
Yeah.
We're ready to have a break.
While their shifts are exhausting, their job is dangerous. The mountainside is steep, and trees that are now scorched come tumbling down in seconds.
Oh, trees falling. We got several trees that's falling. We got to watch out for those. Steep and rocky, and we're having to dig ditches.
Keeping safe, lots of hills. There's lots of timber down. You got to be safe. That's the biggest thing, is just being safe.
And they will continue to do so throughout the night, fighting a fire that could have destroyed so many homes had it not been for their dedication. And while fire crews have been working nonstop, tomorrow it's the power crews that will be working nonstop. They will actually have to rebuild the power infrastructure. All of those lines, those poles have been destroyed. We'll bring you that as it comes. We're live in Rutherford County. Jade Hindmon, Fox Carolina, the 10 o'clock news.